Hey, welcome back. This is your boy Hector Lugo at Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Weekend starts today. It started earlier today. And right now I have the pleasure. We're on St. Pete Hilton, where it's going down. And it's at Tiffany Drive in St. Pete. You could go at Beast Boxing Tiger and subscribe, and you'll find all the information there. And I have a pleasure to have the 2018 Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Mark Lanston's in the house, always here supporting his teammate and welcoming the new class of 2024. Come on here, come on here.
Yeah.
So what's up, champ?
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to come out here to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame every year. I was inducted in 2018, but I come out every year just to support the new inductees and to be around these great boxers who also attend just to be here, and I'm just blessed and lucky just to be around these great people.
Hey, Mark, tell me a little bit about how you got into boxing and what led you here to the biggest prize, the biggest honor, when you get that call, and how that call happened, when it happened, if you recall it, and you'll share with us, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up in New York, so I started boxing when I was about 10 or 11 years old. The police, in New York had programs for kids like me, to stay out of trouble. So I joined the boxing program. I was good at it, and I continued to box. And the police said, if you want to continue boxing, you got to stay out of trouble. So I stayed out of trouble. And throughout my high school years, and I boxed and fought in the New York Golden Gloves, and then I joined the Army straight out of high school when I was 18 and became an Army boxer. I was an Army champion, Armed Forces champion. I was a European champion. I fought in the 1992 Olympic Trials and ended up turning pro, and I was relocated to Pensacola, Florida, and I continued with the reserves, and to continue my military time, and started turning pro. I turned pro out of the Roy Jones camp in Pensacola, Florida.
Let's hold up.
Yeah.
Because you graduated. You're on a roll. It's like you already knew what you wanted. You already had your mindset what you was going to do. But something led you to boxing in the boot camp. What was it? The condition, the attitude you had to go in there with, because, hey, I'm going to the military.
Yeah, well, it was probably the structure. I knew that the military had structure, and, I grew up in New York, and there was nothing there was nothing to look forward to from my point of view as a kid growing up in New York. There was nothing to look forward to in New York. So that's why I joined the Army, hoping that, I'd see some other opportunities to make a better life for myself. And, it's probably the best decision I ever made, was to join the Army when I was a teenager.
And right now, if there's some youngsters out there, they feel like they're getting ready to get out of high school and they're got their back against the wall, I feel like everybody, that's exactly what you're advising, right?
Oh, absolutely. If college isn't for everybody, and college doesn't make you any smarter. It just stamps your ticket. If you need a college degree to be a nurse or a doctor, you need that college degree, but it doesn't make you any smarter. So I would say the military is a great option. It's a great alternative, and the benefits of it outweigh anything else. You get free education, free health care. There's so many benefits that people don't realize from being in the military that that last a lifetime.
Hey, so now you got in there, you taking advantage of it because you want to see some results. So you got into boxing. So tell me, man, because you just said you won some tournaments. There's some tough dudes in there, man. That's like jail pretty much, but, they don't treat you like in jail.
Right. Well, I had over 200 amateur fights and, boxed throughout Europe. My first 5 years in the military, I was stationed in Europe. So I did a lot of boxing against the Europeans, which was a great experience and eye-opening experience. As an 18-year-old kid from New York, going to Europe, it's just eye-opening. And, I became the Army champion, the European champion, the Armed Forces champion, and just continued to box. And I stayed out of trouble, never drank alcohol in my life. I never smoked a cigarette. I never did drugs. And, it's about choices we make. We choose to do things, and it's about the choices we make. And I chose, to do some things, and, I benefited from the choices that I made.
Hey, I'm from Jersey. I lived in Brooklyn. I know I'm up from up north, and, it's not easy anywhere. And there's other places worse than that. But to just get it into the military, and that was a blessing, of course, because that helped you so much to now, since you've been fighting in the military, and you've been fighting tough guys, probably different size, bigger than you. Now you're going pro. Was it easier because you had that background, military, pretty much? This guy's got some discipline.
Absolutely, and when I turned pro, like I turned pro out of the Roy Jones camp. So, I train with Roy every day, and Roy's a trainer.
How you met him?
Well, I've known Roy since I was in the Army, since he was at the Olympics. I've known Roy as an amateur, so so we know each other. And then Roy left his father and brought in Alton Murkison as coach, and Alton Murkison was my coach in the Army. So we have a lot of connections going on right there. So we're very close, and actually I still stay in touch with Coach Murkison now, and he's a great guy, and he's a father figure for me, and Roy's a great friend of mine, and he talked me into turning pro because I was a full-time police officer in Pensacola, and I was fighting pro at the same time, and I was also in the Air Force Reserves.
How you was making time for all this? How you was doing this, man? Honestly, sacrificing.
Yeah, it was a lot of sacrifice. I had to give up a lot of stuff, and I'd get off my shift at 11 p.m. and I'd run. That's when I had to run at midnight, and then I'd get up in the morning and go to the gym before I had to go to work at 3 p.m. So it was a nonstop thing, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And then 9/11 happened, and I ended up getting sent to Iraq twice. I was a combat medic, so I just treated the wounded soldiers, in the war. And when I came back, I didn't have it in me anymore to fight. So I gave it up, but I wouldn't regret it. I don't regret anything that I did.
Well, thank you for your services. Yeah. Thank you for 2 tours. I mean, some been in the military for a long time and been blessed not to go to 1 tour, but want to ask you about that because we're here having fun and talking about how great God was with you, and even through adversity, through the worst neighborhood, the worst people, no support, you decided to join the Army, got into boxing, now you're a professional. So tell me, man, what's the difference, man, in the transition?
Well, I didn't know if there was any. It was more to me like a seamless transition. I just did what I had to do, and I didn't think about what it took to do it.
Did the military play a part because you always had to stay in shape pretty much while you were there?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of structure in the military, and you always had to stay in some kind of physical condition and discipline and do things at a certain time and that kind of stuff. So I was always on schedule. I always did things by schedule and on time, and I always made sure that I handled my responsibilities like I was trained to do in the military.
And you then took it, man, and you took it. So tell me, one of the most memorable fights, and I'm sure you sparred with Roy Jones and many guys you've been around. They're Hall of Fames right now.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of guys. Even as a kid, growing up in New York, I was around guys like Sandy Sadler, Alex Ramos, Davey Moore, Hector Camacho, Mitch Green. I mean, I can go on and on about the New Yorkers, who are great boxing legends. And, then when I turned pro and I was just came around all these great minds in boxing, even though Roy Jones Sr. is a boxing genius. Roy Jones' father, is an amazing man as far as boxing. He has an amazing boxing mind that is just makes him a genius, in my opinion. Roy Jones Sr. He's an incredible mind in boxing.
I spoke to Jones, and shout out to my man, Mr. 2023 Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. He went in last year, but he's already in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I asked him about condition wise. I told him my water work, and he said that was one of his father would have him do the water. Throwing punches and his ability to hit and not get hit. He earned the name The Hook, but he said it helped him from getting any torns on the inner muscles. The water working in the pool.
Yeah, because there's no impact, so you're not going to get any injuries to your joints or your muscles or your bones or anything like that. So that water training that you do. Now I'm not really that familiar with it, but I tried it. But running is the most important thing, in my opinion, as far as training. If you can only run or do your gym work, you'd rather run. So that's where your gas tank is. So
and back then, I tell a lot fighters now and amateurs coming up, they say, hey, well, how many miles should I run? I say, listen now, minimum 10. What? Minimum guys used to do 10. Come on now. What was the minimum back then when you was fighting mandatory every 3-4 months?
Yeah, well, we did like 5 or 6 miles, and then we did sprints afterwards. we always did sprints because that's how fights are. Fast and slow, fast and slow. Picks up, it slows down. During the fight. So you got to do sprints to prepare for those fast moments, those up-tempo moments during a fight. So,
all right, Mark. So you're fighting in 2 months. So I'm coach. So where we start at for the next 8 weeks?
Yeah, well, it depends on what your physical conditioning. Some guys come into the gym, train for a fight. They're totally out of shape. So you got to treat them differently than someone who's just a little bit out of shape. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys, like I always stayed in some kind of shape. I wasn't, when I wasn't fighting, I wasn't in fight shape, but I just came down a little bit and just maintained it. So when I did have to get in fight shape, it wasn't going to be as hard as for other people. Some guys who they just get totally fat and all that kind of stuff, and they got to lose 40, 50 pounds for a fight. I never did that because I was always trying to stay prepared in the first place. But yeah, it's hard, man. Some guys, but that's a discipline thing also.
It's pretty much like condition, like we were saying. I mean, if you're running, I think 80-90% is running mental to the other 10 because your legs is your empire, it's your lock, it's your stand. It's what holds everything. If you run on your legs, you can't hold yourself up. So Mark, who you looking forward to seeing? We got an amazing class. If you give me a second.
Yeah.
We got a great class this year, of course.
Got John Molina is my guy. I love John Molina. And
tell me a little bit about the past experience you've had with John, because when I think of John Molina, we all think about the brawls he had with Tony the Tiger. Oh man.
Yeah, well, he only speaks Spanish, so when I talk to him, I can speak Spanish, but I pretty much just know the street slang and the cuss words. So I can get by with Spanish, just on that level. So when we talk, we just have a lot of fun laughing at me trying to talk Spanish to him.
Molina, a tremendous record, almost 60 professional fights. Only lost 6. I want to say he won 57, but I'll have all those facts later. We're just having fun right here. The champ, Mark Lanton, who's always supporting your class. Tell me something that we don't know about Molina, something that you experienced with him, a fight or outside of the boxing ring.
Oh, well, I'm trying to think. One time we was eating and we both love mofongo, so that's what we both ordered mofongo, at dinner one time. So we were sitting next to each other eating dinner, and we both ordered the same dish. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, mofongo, I haven't had mofongo. Is just not everybody makes it the same. But hey, listen, man. Everybody's happy. Puerto Rico. He's from Fajardos, Puerto Rico. He gave us so many brawls back then. I'm not sure, but maybe were there 15 rounds back when he started, or it was already 12?
No, I think it was 12. It was 12, yeah.
Everything changed after the Boom Boom Mancini event, right?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when they changed to 12, but it's around that time. No, I don't remember though.
Hey, Mark, right now, man, we just saw an amazing fight this past weekend with the fight they had in Las Vegas with Tank and Frank and
Frank Martin.
What is your input on those on the fight overall?
Well, I mean, I thought the fight went the way I thought it was going to go. I thought Tank would win. Martin did a great. I guess he fought as hard as he can, and then, but Tank is just a guy who's just unbelievable. He's just such an extraordinary talent that he overcomes a lot of things.
One thing he showed this weekend, Mark, that he actually showed that he can take more than one shot. But he kept that pushing, that pressure, and eventually, like Franklin said, he wanted to keep me running, but I had to tap at one time, and that's all he was waiting, being patient and waiting on time.
And he kept his composure, that's the thing, the fight, I learned a long time ago, an old saying, the fight doesn't start till you get tired. And, he just continued, even through his fatigue, he continued to fight a smart fight and stay to his game plan. And when he had to change up, he changed up.
You know, it was obvious that Franklin looked like he was being too careful. Like when someone, I don't want to say afraid because no fighter's afraid. Anybody that raps that afraid. If anything, it's financial for whatever reasons, but it's not that kind of fear. But he was being too careful, showing too much respect.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. People they change up their game and give you a new look, and you're kind of puzzled on what to do. And that's what happened. And I guess he really didn't know what else to do, you know, when Tank, you know, showed him something else in the ring.
He got him with that same punch we were just talking about, that left hook that you don't see.
Yeah.
And he did it to Leo de Santa Cruz. He got Garcia in the body, in the kidney. There was someone else he knocked out with the same punch. But the ability, we want to see more of him, but they just could take a punch or two and let him get up.
Yeah, hey, I can't take anything from Tank, man. The guy is just a great boxer, a great champion, and I think he's gonna show. I think he's gonna just prove more than what he already or has already shown. He's gonna show more things in the future.
Hey, Benavidez, a great fighter. We saw him now go up, man, and he felt it. And going up those 6 pounds, it's a big difference, man. As a fighter, Mark, for those that have problems cutting weight and stuff like that, man. When you go up even 6 pounds to another division, man, what's the one thing that you must do?
Well, if you move up in a weight class, I mean, some guys just get fat. They got to get fat to move up. Because like a guy like Chris Bird, who was heavyweight champion. Chris Bird, great boxer, southpaw. 1992 Olympian. He moved up to heavyweight. He had to eat his way up to heavyweight. He had to force himself to eat food to make heavyweight. But and I don't know why he did that, but that's what he did, and he became heavyweight champion of the world. But guys who had need to lose weight, it's an art. And it's an art for him to lose weight.
He had to gain 6 pounds. He went from 168, 175 is it? 175.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, it depends on what their natural weight is and that kind of stuff. If he had to force himself to gain 6 pounds, it's not beneficial. To add weight to you. But so I don't know. I'm not really familiar with that scenario, the 6 pounds thing. But
he was always at your weight. Did you ever fought a catch-up weight that was a disadvantage or was an advantage? Is there a disadvantage or an advantage when it comes to that kind of weight or meeting halfway?
There's probably some factors that would say it's an advantage or disadvantage depending on the individual. If the individual can't make that lower weight class because maybe they're growing or something, so it'd be beneficial to them to move up, at a catch weight or something like that. So it just depends on, I guess, on the individual. If that gaining that weight will benefit them or not.
Because Tank, when he did 130, 135, he went up, I think, 140 when he did for Barrios at 140. Mm-hmm. Now back at 135, beat Ryan, now comes and beating Franklin, who was a running back. To play football, you had to be in tremendous shape. I thought he was fighting the fight he was supposed to fight. What about you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and like I said, very smart, very smart. He kept his composure, during tough times, and he just stuck to the game plan. And when he listened to his corner, you got to listen to your corner also. When your corner says to do something, if you have to change up something, when your corner tells you to do it. And he did. And
boxing now, is so you have more talent and everything, but we're not getting. There's fights every day somewhere, but we're not getting. I don't want to say the fights that we want. But the rankings, like back then, it used to be like number 6 fighting number 8, and right underneath that card, you had number 1 with first number 1 contender.
Yeah.
Para pin, para pum, para pam.
Yeah. Well, like my hat says, make boxing great again.
Oh man, can you see me?
Yeah.
Check it out. Hold on. Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah. So
make it.
That I guess that ties into it because, the fights need to happen when they're supposed to happen. That's what Hagler fought everybody when they're supposed to fight. Ali fought everybody. Tyson fought everybody when they were supposed to fight. Nowadays, I mean, this is my humble opinion. Looks like guys don't want to take an L on their record, maybe. So the fights don't happen like they should anymore. And that's why boxing, to me, is a dying sport in many ways, because the fights don't happen like they should anymore. Like MMA is more popular than boxing nowadays because the fights don't happen. And there's not even, there used to be Sunday night fights, Monday night fights, Friday night fights. I don't even know when there's a boxing. I don't even know when the next boxing show is going to be.
And it is. And then you got now the celebrities. I don't have a problem with a celebrity because it brings fans. But when you try to give celebrities, put them in a position where you have to work your butt off to get where you're at. Yeah. How you feel about that besides being angry? Yeah,
that's why boxing is, that's one of the reasons why boxing is a dying sport. Because you got these like internet personalities or another athlete, an MMA guy fighting a legendary boxer, and but guys who've been training their whole life can't get that shot. You know what I mean? So, and I understand you can't be mad at somebody for wanting to make a lot of money because they're going to make a lot of money, but at the same time, the consequences that it makes boxing look bad. It makes it look like a clown show to me. So, I guess, but the guys are making a lot of money, but it's not good for boxing.
Hey, Mark, man, it's awesome. Great to talk to you, man. We got a show today. Tomorrow, we got a show. And then Sunday is the big one, man. Yeah. Walking down the aisle, man. You broke that ice in 2018, man. Yeah. What's going through these guys' stomach right now, their mind right now?
Yeah, probably, for me, I was excited, man. I was just so excited that this is going to happen to me, which, I didn't deserve it. In my opinion, I didn't deserve it, but God has, God said something else. So, but I'm excited for all these inductees and everyone who's here. There's going to be a lot of great boxing legends that are going to be in attendance, so we can associate with them and socialize with them and talk to them and eat dinner with them and stuff like that. And I'm just looking forward to that.
Hey, we talked off the cameras, man. It's a time where we want to talk about, argue about fight. We're coming back, men being boys. Legends being champs. You guys just talking about the ugly part, the funny part, the part that, wow. About a month ago, Tito Ocasio, and I have Francisco Palacio. When they were young brothers, they had a situation where Palacio took candy or something from him. And they're laughing about it now in the same corner, working with a fighter, Things that you do when you're young and then you become grown.
Yeah, man, it's like a big family, It's just things that happen between us, even if they're bad, two guys who were rivals when they were fighting are best friends today, you know what I mean? So that's what happens, Iran Barkley and Roberto Duran are like brothers, right now. But, in the ring, they were enemies. So right now, they love each other. I see them interacting with each other, and they look like they've been friends their whole lives. So boxing is a great, just a great way to bring people together.
Sports is always a way. I mean, it can be so much hate here and there. It's just like when we won the Super Bowl, everybody was hugging, people was beeping horns. It didn't matter what color, race, religion. Everybody just was in a good mood. So we're going to enjoy this weekend, man. Give a shout out to some friends out here in Florida, man. Who you want to give a shout out, man, and where can we follow you?
Yeah, man, I'm on Facebook. I'm not a big social media guy, but I'm on Facebook, Mark Lanton. Give a shout out though to Roy Jones Jr., my good friend Antonio Tarver, Winky Wright, Shannon Briggs. I hope you guys show up, during this weekend because you guys are just would light up everybody. So, but come on down, fellas. Christy Martin, come on down if you can make it. A lot of people I wish you can. Derek Gaynor. Just everybody.
Hey, man, thank you so much, Mark, man. I can't wait. We can't wait to see each other. We're going to be here. We still got tonight. And like I said, we got this weekend. Hey, don't forget also to subscribe to Beast Boxing Tiger, right? You got to keep me going so I can let them know what's going on.
Absolutely, yeah. Subscribe to his site, Facebook, Instagram, and what else?
Instagram, Facebook.
OnlyFans. You got OnlyFans, too?
Man, listen, man. Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. That's enough because if I get something else, then I won't have time to do this.
I hear you. But yeah, subscribe to him, and he has a lot of great, interesting information and material on his web pages.
Hey, thank you so much, Mark. I can't wait to see it. And look, can you show the shirt, man? 'Cause you see, you guys got to look into this guy. Because now with the YouTube, I still watch the fight. It's called 3 Rounds of War between him and the Hitman Hearns. Yeah. And that happened in New Jersey at the Meadowlands Arena. And I think that was in, I want to say 84, 85.
Yeah, I was in Germany. I was in Germany at the time. I was stationed in Germany at that time. But great fight legends. They don't make them like that anymore. So
it's awesome just to be around here and just to be around fighters that I grew up watching, and to stand here, it's just overwhelming to be talking to you. So, thank you. And for you guys, tune in and don't forget to keep punching, and God bless.
God bless.